Good evening, everyone. So, today we are going to discuss important topics from IR, and there was no important news from history in last week. Now, what are the topics that we are going to cover? First, exercise Yuddh Kaushal 3.0. Now, this is the third edition exercise and it is conducted by Indian Army. Indian Army in which region? Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh. So this is something which is important from the perspective of your prelims examination. Clear, everyone? Second is exercise Bright Star, which is being held in Egypt. And this is the 19th edition of this exercise. Okay, 19th edition. And then there was news with respect to India and China, as on 31st of August, Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping, they met on the sidelines of SCO summit, clear, which was held in Tianjin region of China. And then Indian Ocean Naval Symposium. It is something which is related to Indian Ocean countries. And then India-China border talks. Clear? So these are some important topics which were there in the current. Now, first is Yuddh Kaushal exercise 3.0, which is the third edition. है ना? This Yuddh Kaushal exercise, it is like Indian Army, they have convened not only in terms of old warfare method, but this time they have convened this exercise with respect to modern warfare system, because today's warfare system is like based on drones, cyber, है ना, information warfare. So exercise Yuddh Kaushal is actually held in Kameng region. Kameng region of Arunachal Pradesh. है ना? So with old school warfare techniques like guns, tanks, and trenches, next generation tech is also used, like cyber, drones, use of AI. Clear? So these new tech weapons are very important because this is going to give Indian Army a real time data, and it will help with respect to air dominance. And this exercise is done near the China border and it is intentional. This exercise was intentional, that is in Kameng region, Arunachal Pradesh, sensitive area because near to China border, and yes, this is intentional. Clear? So this is the third edition of this exercise this year. Now, who did this exercise? So this is actually led by Corps 4th. Corps 4th is also called as Gajraj. Gajraj is a northeast based group. Clear? And they are basically specialized in mountain warfare. Clear, everyone? So they are, 4th Corps are also called as Gajraj, which is northeast based. Now, who are the other partners? Indian Air Force, then Indian Defense, as well as academic people also. Clear? So Indian defense industry, Indian Air Force, and academics, because modern warfare is based on brain as well as bronze. Clear? So this exercise is important. Now, why this exercise considered as important this time? The reason is, this time we have taken various measures like multi-domain operations are there. Not only focus was on land warfare method, but also they tested air warfare, electronic, cyber, and then information warfare. Because today, this is the era of digital warfare, use of AI, drones, satellite, imageries, है ना? All these things. Second important thing, drone revolution. Now in this exercise, for the first time, debut is done by Ashini platoons. Now Ashini platoons, first time they did operational debut, and this is one of the special unit which is dedicated to drones. Clear? Now what are the capabilities of these platoons? Their focus is on drone surveillance, precision strike, and real-time target tracking. This is very important because today our neighbor, especially China, is creating hypersonic missile. So we need to change our warfare strategy. Clear? Then precision and speed. With respect to this, these new warfare tech generations, they are going to give real-time data, quick decisions, precision weapons will be there, and with minimum delay. Clear? So these are some important things which the government, or you can say Indian Army, has taken into this exercise. Clear? Then air to littoral dominance. That means in this way they are going to control the sky, which is very important near the border areas, and controlling the sky is also important near mountain regions. So in this way they are going to control the edges from land to air zones, which is very important in mountain areas. Now, why this exercise is important? First important thing is China bordered, that India should be ready, or the forces should be ready near the China border. Second important thing, this is the new age of war fighting, where drones, AI, secure communications are required. Then the war strategy should be faster, smarter, and deadlier. Clear? And in this way, our infantry as well as technology, they are going to come together. Clear? That means infantry, earlier it was based on old warfare method. Now today we are going to use tech also. That means we are integrating our military strategy with new tech. This part is clear to all of you? So this is the importance of this exercise. So old warfare was like a chess. New warfare is like a 3D chess. This much is clear to all of you, where AI is also used, drones are also used, and various other techniques. Now, next is exercise Bright Star of 2025. Now, first of all, this time India is also participating in exercise Bright Star. Now, why it is important? So, Indian armed personals, they are also participating in exercise Bright Star of 2025, and this is the 19th edition, which is being held in Egypt. Clear? So you can say that exercise Bright Star 2025 is like international tournament. International tournament. Why? Because in this, various countries, they are coming together to train their armies. This much is clear to all of you. And in this, tri-services are there. Air Force is also there. Then Army is also there, as well as naval staffs are also there. Clear? So this is a kind of tri-service exercise. But this international tournament is not based on cricket or football. It is based on defense cooperation. Clear? where all the countries are coming together based on defense cooperation. This much is clear to all of you now. So where is it happening? Egypt. Just give me a minute. Hmm. No, for India, this is the first time. Clear? So where it is happening? In Egypt. How often does it happen? Biennial. That is once in every 2 years. Clear, everyone? Now, what is the background? So let me tell you, this was started in 1980 between US and Egypt. Clear? It was just a bilateral exercise, but now it was just started as a small bilateral exercise, but now it has grown into a multilateral event. Various countries have joined. Clear, everyone? Now, why it was started in 1980? Egypt and US, when you read Israel relations, Israel relations, so you will come to know that in 1978 one accord was signed called as Camp David Accord to create a peace between, and US mediated to create a peace between Egypt and Israel. Clear? And after that only Egypt signed this partnership with United States of America, so that with this US can interact in which region? In MENA region. This is already asked by UPSC in prelims examination. Mapping. MENA means Middle East and North Africa. MENA region is also called as Levant region. Levant region in Mediterranean Sea. Initially, you must have heard the name ISIS, terrorist group. In 2003, when ISIS was founded, so originally it was founded as ISIL, Islamic State of Iraq and Levant region. Because of Syrian civil war, this turned into ISIS, Islamic State of Iraq and Syria in 2014. Initially, it was called as ISIL. Clear? So, Levant region is also where MENA region, that is Middle East and North Africa. This much is clear to all of you. Now, why this exercise is important? It is one of the largest and longest military exercises in MENA region, that is Middle East and North Africa. See this map. This is Middle East and this is North Africa, and this region is called as Mediterranean region. This much is clear to all of you. So it brings together armies, navies as well as air forces, that is tri-services, to practice as one team. Clear? So this is one of the important exercises in Middle East. Now, what are their main goals? First is practice working together, which is called as jointness and interoperability. Clear? Now, it means if there is any threat, all the countries jointly combat those threats. This much is clear to all of you. Second, they are going to promote peace and stability in the region. Now, how are they going to promote peace and stability in the region? By showing their strength. By showing their strength and cooperation. And third important thing, improve multi-domain warfare skills. That means there should be joint training in AI techniques, then drones and other methods. This much is clear to all of you. This is the main goal of this exercise. Now, what is the role of India in 2025? So, Indian armed forces are actively participating, and this is going to help India to interact with the MENA countries this time. So, it is going to strengthen its ties with MENA as well as United States of America. Second important thing, this is going to improve jointly war fighting skills with global partners. And third thing is, it will show that India is a global peacekeeper as well as reliable defense partner. Clear? That is why this exercise is important for India. Clear, everyone? Right? Then next is India and China. Now, why this was there in the news? The reason is, now the reason here is PM Modi and Xi Jinping, they met on the sidelines of SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, where in Tianjin region of China on 31st August 2025. Clear? Now, why this is important? Because this is for the first time both the countries, both the leaders said, let's not be rivals, but become partners. In the background, we need to understand the tariff issue with United States of America. Clear? Now, in this scenario, so why this meeting is a big deal? The reason here is India and China have not been on good terms since 2020 because of Galwan standoff, and there were tensions on the borders. Clear? So there was a 5-year military standoff in eastern Ladakh region, like Galwan clash in 2020, and borders were tense, but trade was there. Trade was booming, but it was bitter. But diplomacy was frozen. Trade is actually requirement for India also, because even in small industries we need Chinese products. Clear? So this meeting is an attempt to melt the ice and to restart the relation. Clear? That is why this meeting was important. Now, for India, why it is important? Because India want to follow the strategic autonomy. This is the most important principle or the goal in our foreign policy. That means India does not want to take a side of US or China. Clear? Second important thing, India wants fair trade, and India wanted to fix its ties also, but not at the cost of the borders. Clear? Then China's stand kya hai? China says that we should not actually take the story of borders in our relations. We should not depend only on the border issue. And we should do trade and commerce smoothly. Why China is saying this? Because the reason is China want India to continue the trade, because West, US and Europe, they are actually cutting the market of China. That is why China needs India as its market. Clear? Now, so what is happening at the border now? In October 2024, petrol meet happened. Petrol leaders, they met and they discussed the sensitive points. Then this year in August 2025, 24th round of border talks happened, and some de-escalation is started, but it is not solved yet. Clear? So India ka stand ye hai that first we need peace at the border, and then we are going to talk in other aspects. China क्या कह रहा है? We can work on trade. Other things even can go on while the border talks or the borders meeting. Clear? तो अगर border के बातें चल रही हैं, तो we can work on our trade relations. We can, you can say, we can, in terms of like, for example, trade के terms में अगर हम बात करें, so China is trying to say we can work on our trade as well as manufacturing market also. Clear? We can work together against the United States of America also. Clear? But India का stand क्या है? First we need to resolve the issue of border. Clear? Then economic and trade angle. Now trade is still huge between India and China. It is around 135 billion dollar in 2024. And India क्या चाहता है? India want less trade deficit because China's focus is on more export rather than imports. Then India want technology access also from China. China want India to remain a big market, है ना? Especially because West is cutting its market. Now, so what is the geopolitical chessboard here? India is playing multi-alignment approach. Multi-alignment approach. Now how? India is a friend with US as well as Japan. Why? For Indo-Pacific strategy. Second, India is also talking to Russia for defense and oil. Clear? Now, India is also engaging with China. But India does not want a subordinate player. India does not want to be a subordinate player. Now, what is the worrisome for India? What is the worrisome for India? Tell me, what is the worrisome for India? China, Pakistan, nexus still worries for India. Clear? At the same time, India is also watching Chinese activities in which region? Indian Ocean region. String of pearls. Clear, everyone? This is the geopolitical chessboard. Okay, this is the geopolitical chessboard here. Subordinate player in the sense, now India wants to establish its autonomy in its foreign policy. And China cannot dictate its terms on India. India want to be an equal partner. Clear? India does not want to be a subordinate player here. This much is clear to all of you? Now, so is everything resolved now? No. So everything is not resolved. Why? Trade deficit is huge. Trade deficit is huge. Second is, still trust deficit is also there between the two nations. Trust deficit between two nations. Clear? In this way, India cannot depend on China. Cannot depend on China. Clear? So, but we can say it is a good start. It is a good start. This much is clear to all of you. So in this way, we can say that India actually India and China, because of this summit, SEO summit, so they have just pressed the paused button, है ना? But conflicts are not deleted. This much is clear to all of you. So overall, we can say this tagline, we are partners, not rivals. These are just optics, photo optics, है ना? Which are used for the news headlines, so that because the meetings are coming, SEO as well as BRICS summit. That is why these things are used. This much is clear to all of you. So these are the reasons. Now, next topic is Indian Ocean Naval Symposium. Now, what is Indian Ocean Naval Symposium? So recently, Indian Navy, they have hosted the emerging leaders panel discussion in Kochi area. Clear? Where they invited the young naval officers for maritime security, safety and cooperation. This much is clear to all of you. Now, as you can see here, Indian Navy hosted the emerging leaders panel, under which IONS, Indian Ocean Naval Symposium, where in Kochi. What is the aim? The aim is to bring the young naval officers from Indian Ocean countries for what? Maritime security, cooperation and future challenges in this region. Clear? Now, first of all, we need to understand what is IONS. Now, IONS was started in 2008 and it was created in New Delhi, and India was the first chair from 2008 to 10. How many countries are there? Total 34 countries. 25 are full-time and 9 are observers. Clear? Then what is the purpose? To talk openly about maritime security, piracy, disasters, training and cooperation. Clear everyone? Acha, whether they are bound to follow the UN clause? No. है ना? They are not bound to follow the United Nations law on sea, UN clause. Clear? Now, so it is not a military alliance, it is just based on the cooperation and coordination. So India will be again the chair in 2025 to 2027, and this year, that means in the late 2025, India is going to host the conclave of chief summit. Clear? With respect to IONS. That is why this is important. Now, so what are the important working groups under this? First is disaster relief. Now, with respect to disaster relief, joint operations during the period of tsunami, cyclone, etc., and also during the evacuation mission. Clear? India plays its role. Second is capacity building. In capacity building, all the Indian Ocean countries should come together for joint training, then naval exercises, etc. Then counter piracy and maritime crime. Now, what are the maritime crime here in Indian Ocean region? Smuggling, है ना? Illegal fishing, then piracy. Clear? These are some maritime crimes. This much is clear to all of you, है ना? Now, why Indian Ocean region is important? It is the third largest ocean, and it covers 1/5 area of Earth ocean. This much is clear to all of you. Second, if you see the borders of Indian Ocean, so Asia is in the north, Australia is in the east, Africa is in the west, Antarctica south. Clear, everyone? This much is clear to all of you. And then apart from this, Indian Ocean region is important because of its trade and commerce. Clear? Now, so the most important thing is around 40 plus countries, that is nearly 40% of the world population is living in Indian Ocean region. Second important thing, it is a trade superhighway. Around two-thirds of the world's oil shipment pass through it. One-third of global cargo, as well as around 50% of container traffic. Apart from this, Indian Ocean region is important because of choke points. Choke points क्या होते हैं? It is like traffic signals. Clear? Strait of Malacca in Southeast Asia, then Bab el-Mandeb Strait, clear? Strait of Hormuz, and then Suez Canal. This much is clear to all of you. So these are some important choke points in this region. Then this area is rich in oil. Around 40% of global output. Fisheries are also important as well as minerals. Clear? So Indian Ocean region is strategically important here. Then next, for India, why it is important? India has a coastline of around 7,500 kilometer. Clear? And 80%, around 80% of oil comes via Indian Ocean region. This much is clear to all of you. And this is a lifeline for India with respect to energy, trade, and security. For India, Indian Ocean is important. Why? Energy, trade, and security. This much is clear to all of you. Now, who governs Indian Ocean region? There is one organization called as IORA, clear, Indian Ocean Rim Association, and this was founded in 1997. Clear? And the apex body of IORA is called as Council of Foreign Minister, and they meet annually. And current chair is Sri Lanka. India is the vice chair, and this year India is going to become a chair from 2025 to 27. Now we need to keep this in mind. IONS is India is going to chair from 25 to 27, and IORA also India is going to chair from 25 to 27. This much is clear to all of you. Now, both the organizations are different, their members are different, and membership structure is also different. This much is clear to all of you. Membership structure is also different here. So these are some IORA members. As you can see here, France is also a member. Clear? Because there are some French islands in Indian Ocean region. Clear? So France is also a member. Now, what is the role of India? So India is actually playing its big brother role. Clear? Or a role as net security provider in this region. So India's role is like big brother or net security provider. So whenever you write net security provider, the most important vision of India is Sagar and Mahasagar. Sagar is something security and growth for all in the region. Mahasagar, now this has turned into a Mahasagar, that means collective growth, collective security in this region. Clear? Then what are these strategic moves? India is setting up the military access point so that India can expand its military or naval outreach. Clear? Then defense cooperation, what are the exercises? Milan exercises with various nations, then Simbex with Singapore, ECMI with Africa, and various joint patrols with island nations. Now, apart from this, India is also providing the institutional leadership. Institutional leadership, IORA, IONS, as well as Indian Ocean Conference. Clear? Then, this is also important with respect to Act East and Neighborhood First policy, because Indian Ocean region stress towards Southeast Asia. That is why it comes under Act East policy. And this Indian Ocean region is also under the buzz of which region? Indo Pacific. Again, it is a part of Act East policy. This much is clear to all of you. And then Indian Ocean Islands, which is also a part of neighboring country, or you can say neighborhood first policy. Clear? That is why it is going to connect with Southeast Asia island nations as well as neighbors. Then blue economy and development. Now, blue economy is something which is related to helping countries with trade, renewable energy, as well as sustainable ocean use. Now, various ports in India, they are part of blue economy and development. For example, Andaman and Nicobar. Clear? And recently a research article came that how Pondicherry is playing its role in blue economy project. Clear? So there are some important ports. Apart from this, India is also playing the humanitarian role. That means quick response in disasters like in 2004 tsunami. Then India has taken various evacuation missions in Indian Ocean region. Clear? So this is the importance of India with respect to Indian Ocean region. Where military access point, like for example, India is trying to establish its military access points in Indian Ocean island country. Clear? Like for example, now India is actually reviving its naval base in Andaman and Nicobar island. है ना? Then India is trying to renew its base. India is need Maldives also. Clear? Then Sri Lanka is also important. So all the Indian Ocean. Then Seychelles is also very important. Mauritius. All these countries are important from the perspective of Indian Ocean. Clear, everyone? Act East policy. See, initially it was called as Look East policy, and it was started after 1991. 1991 because before 1991 India was a kind of closed economy. So after the disintegration of USSR, India wanted to diversify its trade. है ना? As India had already trade relations with the eastern side, or you can say Southeast Asia, if you go through the history, like Cholas had good relations in Southeast Asia. In this way, India wanted to revive its cultural ties with Southeast Asia. So in this, PV Narasimha Rao government brought a policy called as Look East policy. Act East came in 2014 in a new form. In this Act East policy, the main focus will be on that India can, you can say, boost its trade and commerce in Southeast Asia with the help of Northeast India. So in Act East policy, Northeast development is also very important. Since then, Northeast has become the gateway for India to act towards Eastern region. Clear? Because Northeast has become a gateway. Now, the last topic is India-China border disputes. Now, to understand this India-China border disputes, so it is something we can say. Now, India-China border dispute, it is not something which is ancient, or you can say well settled. It is just a colonial leftover. Now, during the time period of colonial masters, India, that means British India, and China was under the control of Manchu Empire. Clear? So, British India, they try to create the borders in Himalayan region, Himalayan, which is sparsely populated. And rarely anyone is living in those regions. So here you will see this is sparsely populated region, and in post independence India thought that British's maps are final, but China said no, we are not going to accept these borders which are created by the Britishers. This much is clear to all of you. That was the main scenario. Now, so after the independence, what happened? Problem was started in the east and west region. Now, as you can see this map, now see this map, this is west, this is called as Aksai Chin region, and this is Tibet, and this is Chinese Xinjiang region. This much is clear to all of you. Now, Tibet is important for China, and China annexed Tibet in 1950. Clear? But if China wants to link Xinjiang region with Tibet via roadway, then China needs which region? Aksai Chin. This much is clear to all of you. This is the main problem. So Aksai Chin is a cold desert terrain, and it is the strategic location for China, which links Xinjiang region to Tibet. Clear? East Arunachal Pradesh, which is also called as McMahon line, and this line was created in 1914 in Shimla Agreement. In Shimla Agreement. This much is clear to all of you. There are two conflict zones. That means 1914 Shimla Agreement, it was created by whom? Britishers. Clear? Now, after the independence, now as you can see here, this region, now after the independence, conflict was started. Now, why conflict was started? In 1950s, China started creating the secret road. In which region? From Xinjiang to Tibet. Where? In Aksai Chin region. Clear? And India came to know that, and it was the awkward movement for India. Why? Because in 1954 only, India has signed a Panchashil treaty. है ना? India signed Panchashil agreement with China. This much is clear to all of you. And the most important mistake that India did, India recognized China in Tibet. Clear? India recognized China in Tibet region. That was the mistake of India in 1950. Clear? And because of this only the slogan came Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai. Clear? Then 1959, China gave one proposal. When India discovered that China is creating the roadway, so China gave one proposal on LAC, that is in Aksai Chin region, that we can pull back our forces 20 kilometer. India said this is not going to happen. Clear? So gradually what India started doing, India started building the border post in this region, which was not liked by China. So 1960 में Zhou Enlai, who was the Chinese premier, he offered one thing. You can keep Arunachal Pradesh, give us Aksai Chin. India denied this offer. समझ में आ रहा है कि आप हमें क्या दे दो? Aksai Chin, and you can keep Arunachal Pradesh. This offer was rejected by whom? India. This much is clear to all of you. Now, after this only, India started constructing the border post in Aksai Chin region. That triggers India with respect to the war in 1962. Clear? अब कुछ events हैं. India was constructing the border post, and in 1961, non-alignment movement came into the picture, and with this, India became the leader of third world countries. Clear? So India's image was rising. This was not liked by whom? China. As a result, in 1962, you will see India-China war. So India's forward moves triggered for this war, and it has created tension in Aksai Chin region. So China has captured Aksai Chin region, but China withdrew its forces from north of McMahon line. Clear? So this was the issue. So military confrontation was started. Now, after that, cold border years from 1962 to 79. Now, what was happening during this time period? In 1967, India fought in Nathula Pass as well as Chola Pass, and these two passes are there in Sikkim. Remember this thing, these two passes are there in Sikkim. India fought back these passes. Clear? Then 1975, India merged Sikkim with it, like as a state. It was protested by whom? China. जैसे ही इंडिया ने सिक्किम को मर्ज किया, it was protested by China, because when India merged Sikkim, India became a neighbor, direct neighbor of China. This much is clear to all of you. Now, in this scenario, India has also created China study group to monitor the situation, monitor the borders, and to bring satellite images. And then in 1979, when Morarji Desai government was there, at that time foreign minister was Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He visited China. This visit was important after the 1962 war. This much is clear to all of you. Then comes the era of 1980s. 1980s, fights and fresh talks. So first important thing, in 1978, Deng Xiaoping reforms came. That means China has adopted the capitalist approach in economy. Clear? And in 1980, Deng Xiaoping offered again India accept the McMahon line, है ना, and give us Aksai Chin. Again India refused this proposal. Now in 1981, India said we can start our relation sector by sector. We can start our discussion sector by sector. But China wanted one package deal. कि तुम क्या रख लो? मैकमोहन लाइन, हमें क्या दे दो? अक्साई चिन. So this has created the political deadlock here from 1981 to 85. Now, again China instigated India in 1986, where in Arunachal Pradesh region, China started claiming Tawang belongs to China, and they claim that Arunachal Pradesh is nothing but a southern Tibet. China का कहना क्या है? Arunachal Pradesh is a southern Tibet. So China demanded Tawang region. In this scenario, a conflict just like Galwan clash, Wangdung clash off or standoff took place in this region, which is near to the China border. Clear? And this time India started which operation? Operation Falcon. Under this Operation Falcon, India airlifted its army in the border areas. But this time, the army preparedness of India was changed. India was not like 1962. This time, India has become more assertive in nature. Clear, everyone? After this incident only, the talks have been started between India and China. And Rajiv Gandhi visited China in 1988 and he met Deng Xiaoping. So he visited in 1988. And then you will see that this was the historic diplomatic breakthrough. And both agreed for cooling down their tension. And in this scenario, a principle came called as mutual understanding and mutual accommodation. And with this, joint working group mechanisms were also created. Why joint working group was created? So that both the countries can normalize their ties. Apart from this, there should be structural dialogue mechanisms. Clear? And after this only, the outcome will be confidence building measures, which was started between India and China in 1993 and 1996, as well as it has become the foundation for other agreements between India and China. Clear, everyone? Between India and China. So overall, if you see why China need Aksai Chin region, the reason is it connects with Xinjiang region to Tibet. Why India cannot compromise on Arunachal Pradesh? The reason is cultural. Tawang monastery which is also important for Dalai Lama heritage. Then Arunachal Pradesh is also important for security. It is a gateway for Assam. Clear? And in this scenario, both the regions are important. So Arunachal Pradesh has historical significance. Clear? So overall, if you see that what is the final status, still the border solutions are, or you can say the border talks are going on, and the border issue has not been resolved yet. Clear? So border dispute remain unresolved, and there are complex territorial claims which are still persisting. There is a need for peaceful dialogue agreement. Both sides committed talking, and military confrontation should be avoided. And in this scenario, confidence building measures are taken place in 1993 to 96, and it has become the basis for various future agreements. And after this only India and China became they have signed strategic partnership agreement with respect to various other sectors. Clear? So abhi basically India की policy क्या है? We should focus on border management areas through dialogues rather than conflict. Clear everyone? So these are the topics which are important for your examination. Online students, this much is clear to all of you? Clear everyone? Now let's solve some questions. First question, with reference to the Indian Ocean Naval Symposium, consider the following statement. First, it is legally binding treaty organization aimed at ensuring freedom of navigation and enforcing the United Nations Convention on the Law of Sea in Indian Ocean region. It is wrong, है ना? So this statement is wrong. Second, all member states of IORA are automatically members of IONS. This is also wrong. IONS was created in 2008, IORA in 1997. It is a group which manage which region? Indian Ocean region. Then India was the first chair of IONS, and it's scheduled to chair it again during 25 to 27. This is correct. So which option is correct? Option C, 3 only. This much is clear to all of you. Then next question. With reference to recent multilateral event, consider the following statement. First, this is related to the Bright Star exercise. First is, it is biennial tri-service exercise originally initiated by Egypt and US during late 20th century. This is correct. 1980, late 20th century. So this is correct. Then it is confined to Middle Eastern nations only, with participation restricted to regional countries. MENA countries, Northern Africa. Then, so this is wrong. Then the 2025 edition involved Indian Armed Forces, and it is aimed at promoting jointness, multi-domain preparedness and regional stability. Is this is correct now? So how many statements are correct? 1 and 3. Option B is the right answer. Clear everyone? Then the last question, with reference to the exercise Yuddh Kaushal 3.0 recently conducted in Arunachal Pradesh, consider the following statement. First, it was the first ever military exercise in Kameng region to involve Indian Navy for littoral dominance operations. Third edition 3.0. So this is not the first ever military exercise. And here not only littoral, land to air. Clear? Indian Army conducted. So this is wrong. Second, the exercise marked the operational debut of Ashni platoons, which integrate drone technology with infantry combat tactics. This is correct. Then it was conducted under the aegis of 4th Corps, which is also known as Gajraj, to enhance multi-domain operational readiness along the line of control. Line of control or McMahon line? McMahon line. Clear? LOC is related to India and Pakistan. This one is clear to all of you. This is in Arunachal Pradesh, that is McMahon. Clear? So this is also wrong. So which one is correct? Only two. That is option B. This much is clear to all of you. And this fourth corps is also called as Gajraj Corps, and it is northeast base, and they are specialized in mountain warfare. Clear? Now, based on your notes, these are some important topics. Clear? Acha, with respect to SEO, so I will do one thing. We will have one special session on SEO, and where I am going to discuss SEO from the beginning itself. है ना? Like for example, how USSR got disintegrated, and then how Central Asia relations started with China, and then how this concept of SEO came into the picture. Clear? तो उसके लिए जब जैसे ही टाइम मिलेगा, we can have one special session on this SEO. Clear? Where we are going to discuss the India-China border talks also since beginning, since 191 AD till 1949. That would be the first phase of India-China relations. Clear, everyone? So these are some important topics. Online students, this much is clear to all of you? Okay. Clear, everyone? And please join current affairs classes every day. है ना? Either online or offline. Clear, everyone? Don't miss your current affairs classes because it will be from Monday to Saturday. है ना? No, Saturday will also be there. Clear? Science and tech will be on Saturday. Clear? You can come offline, either you can join online in the evening itself. Clear? During the optional days, your classes will be on 5:30 to 6:30, है ना? And baki normally 5 to 6. Clear?